it is possible using GCAD Plus to use drone images of a site to make a base plan. Let's demonstrate. If we go, I've started GCAD Plus, I'm just in the default drawing area. If we measure from one side to another, it's about 160 metres, 160,153, about 160 metres in size. That of course can be just zoomed in and out, it's quite a flexible space. But if I go to Format and Images, and I say Add, I can browse to my pictures and I've got drone images. There are two images in that folder, one with some measurements on it and this one without. I'm going to take the one without and open it and then insert it into that drawing. I'm going to specify the scale as I bring it in. So I'm going to say OK and just drop it in the GCAD Plus environment. And there is our drone image, the first of them. I'd be inclined to pick it and change its scale, and let's try, we'll try a scale of 50. We'll try and be consistent with both images. So 50 there. So I'll just zoom out a little. Now what I want to do is to put our other image here so that I can get some measurements and scale this one more accurately. So it's Format, Images, Add, this one which has got some measurements on it. We'll open it up, insert it, again specifying it on screen, we say OK, then just put it down as close as you can. Now we can see some handwritten notes. This distance here is 17 and so on. I'll make, for consistency and for no particular reason, I'll just keep both images the same scaling factor. Don't forget, with GCAD Plus we can zoom in and out pretty easily, so we know there's a line from the edge of the building to this white boundary fence that's 17 metres long. So in GCAD Plus, what we can do is use the measure tool and come in here and measure from there approximately here. I'm going to turn polar on and we'll come down to roughly there. See that I'm looking at a vertical distance and I click it. It's 17.031, which is actually fairly close, I think, from 17 metres was measured. So by a fluke, and it's only a fluke, they are reading reasonably accurately. I could, of course, to do it more accurately, I would draw a line from that corner there, as close as I can get to the corner. Remember, ortho's on, polar is on, so here's the line. Draw another line from that fence line, that whitish fence line, and go across. And now I can put a dimension in, a linear dimension from the snap to the end of that line there, and then run perpendicular down. I may not get the dimension correctly and pop it in. So if we come in here, 16, the dimension there is 16,988. So by an absolute fluke, and maybe the drone image is just the right height, we've actually got a scaled drawing now that we can run a base plan on. I find it handy to, at this stage, everything's been done on layer 0. Notice up here, layer 0. It's quite handy, I think, to pick both of these and pop them onto their own layer. And if you start with the default, there's already one there called Image. So we could come in here in the layer stack and turn off the image layer if you just see that dimension. and there it is. So I don't think we need that dimension any longer, and we'll come back in here and we can say we want all use layers on, and the two images should come back. Now we'll just do a double check. Here is a measurement from the corner, that corner of the building across to the end of that white line, 8.35. So if we're fairly accurate on the right, we're going to be fairly accurate there as well. So we'll just draw a line, but this time we'll come down and take polar off because we want to come at an angle. So I think it was from that corner there to, I think it's roughly the end of there, but we can, I'm just using the wheel of the mouse, come over to remind myself. Yeah, there's a light brown line and then a darker line, and I'm panning across. Yeah, so we're measuring to that point there. It was 8.35. We'll pick that, and we've got 8.140, so it's a little bit out, but we're coming at an angle here, and I'd be relatively happy with that. So we're in a position now to start drafting our base plan, and fortunately we've got lots of detail about plant species that are here existing on the site. Not sure what these particular trees are, but they are existing trees and have quite a large canopy. We have a library tool, plants, standard plants, and existing 1, 2, 3, 4 different ones. Let's pick this one as an existing tree and insert it in the drawing. And I think they're coming in at an angle, aren't they, from a trunk there, and probably the sun angle is causing this. So I'm guessing that we have an existing tree there, and we clearly want to scale it. So you just click in the center and sort of drag it out to match that canopy through there. And it's quite hard for me to pick it, but I think that's happened. There's some shadow being cast in that direction, so I'm not quite sure why these here look like they do, but I've not been on the site, so I can't offer any real help. So I think we've got a row of plants along there. These can all be rotated to provide a bit more interest and so on. You've got other existing plant symbols, existing 1, existing 2 and 3. That would be a useful one, I think. Insert that into the drawing. These are relatively large sizes, aren't they? So you could specify in the screen and just dynamically put it in. It's probably, I guess what's happened here is that these are bushes. This one's a bush, so it doesn't cast such a long shade off. And this one's effectively a bush as well. So we can copy that one, pop it over there, and pop it down, pick it again, right click and scale it, come out to there, and it's probably about, that's a fair guess as to its canopy diameter. So these all went in on layer 0, and we could clearly put some lines in, draw line. In fact, you could put a rectangle in there, couldn't you? Draw a rectangle from, say, that point there to that point there. And all of the base information, you could trace the outline of the house with a polyline, and you'd get that reasonably accurately. Here's a vehicle here, probably Toyota Prado or some similar. We could bring in one of our library details, and go to vehicles. So we'll pick the red SUV, pop it down and insert it into the drawing. And we haven't got exactly an exact match, but there's a big spare wheel hanging off the back. We can scale it like so. So the precise dimensions of that particular, probably a Toyota Prado, are there. And we're building up detail for a base plan. Because we're operating on layer 0 and all the images are on their own layer, let's turn that off. And there's our base plan starting. So I hope that shows the value of using drone footage when making base plans using GCAD+.